Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to Phil and Dave's Excellent Adventures. Just Dave with Trixie here. Today we are talking about DC League of Super Pets. So this is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie and you are concerned about spoilers, I would suggest you go ahead and watch the movie first before you watch this review. So, The League of Super Pets is an animated movie based on the pets of the Justice League. This is going to be a spoiler review, like I said, I think. If you haven't watched and you are concerned about spoilers, make sure you go ahead and watch the movie first before you watch this review. So as far as what I liked about the movie, the cast overall was pretty good. I liked Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson as the two main characters, Crypto and Ace. Keanu Reeves is in here as Batman. I thought he did a good job. Natasha Lyonne as Merton the Turtle. I thought was pretty good. Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz as the two guinea pigs, I suppose, were good as well. Vanessa Bayer as PB, Olivia Wilde as Lois Lane, Kate McKinnon as Lulu, and Mark Maron as Lex Luthor. I enjoyed all of them. Part of, for me, watching like these kids' movies with these kind of famous actors and the voices, part of the fun for me is just listening to it and trying to figure out, oh, who's that actor? Who's doing that voice? And so most of them I could figure out. I did have a little trouble with Kate McKinnon. I couldn't figure out who that was. And Mark Maron. I thought it was Kristen Slater at first. And this is the second animated movie with Mark Maron. He also did, the Bad Guys. And the same thing, I'm listening to him going, whose voice is that? And I thought it was Danny DeVito or Johnny Knoxville, or I did not think Mark Maron. So this is the second animated voice acting that he's done. Diego Luna is also in here as Chip, and I thought it was funny. He's basically doing like a Peter Lorre impression, at least as far as I can tell. And Peter Lorre is also the inspiration for the voice of Ren on Ren and Stimpy. But he was an actor 80 years ago was his prime, and people are still doing impressions of him. So that's pretty cool, I think. Other than that, like I said, Mark Maron, I thought it was Kristen Slater. I couldn't figure out who was doing that voice for the longest time. Most of or at least some of the jokes I thought were pretty funny. There's a joke where Crypto's sad and he's eating ice cream, and the brand name is Cryers, which I think is funny because there's Briars and Dryers, and they have Cryers, and he's crying. There's a part where they call for help, and it says press 1 for Earth 1, press 2 for Earth 2. I thought that was pretty funny. I like Superman's costume in this because the S has sort of a black background, which reminded me of the old Fleischer Brother cartoons, which I really liked. So that was cool to see. And that was John Krasinski as Superman. I thought he was okay. At first, it was a little distracting, but I got used to it, and I liked him, I think. I liked Ace's backstory. They explained, basically why he didn't trust people, because he tried to save this baby as it was about to fall down the stairs, and then they thought that he was trying to hurt the baby. So it was a good backstory. I liked Whiskers, the character of Whiskers. And the voice that they did, is very cute, young little kid voice. And then I also liked the way that they captured and defeated Whiskers, because obviously it's a kid's cartoon, so you don't want to hurt anything or kill anything. So they sort of trap him underneath a dumpster, and then Crypto welds it to the ground. They all use their powers together to trap it, and then it explodes. They throw its own bomb at it, and it explodes under the dumpster. And you're like, oh, well, that cat's dead. But he says, oh, I've still got 8 lives left, so cat's still alive. It's okay. It's a kid's movie. And that's the kind of thing I sort of appreciate, because it's hard to write kids movies. You have to be careful, with the amount of violence and the amount of danger that you have in there, because you don't want to scare kids. So yeah, I thought that was really good. I like the way that the team worked together. I liked what they did with Merton, who swears occasionally, and they just bleep it. It was a little odd. In the first couple of times, it seemed like they were bleeping, a not too offensive word. But then one time, at least, it seemed like they were bleeping the F word, which is kind of offensive. So, I mean, it was bleep, so it doesn't matter. But I was surprised to see that in a kid's movie. It's still kind of funny. So I'm not going to complain about it, though. And I think, like I said, I like the way the team worked together. And it's a much better movie than the Justice League movie that came out a couple of years ago. At least the theatrical released one. I still haven't seen the Snyder cut, but it's probably better than that too. At least it's shorter. It's 1:45, so that's a lot better. As far as what I disliked about it, I didn't like the action scenes sometimes. They just went on a little too long, and as I've probably said before in reviews, I get bored during action scenes sometimes. And I didn't love the character designs for the superheroes in particular. I thought, Superman was okay. I didn't love Batman, the way that they did his look. I somehow I saw the trailers. I thought he looked different in the trailers. Maybe he didn't. Maybe I'm just, remembering it wrong. But yeah, I didn't love the look of his costume. It's sort of more inspired by like the more current look, I guess, he has in the comics, with the mostly black, almost gray, and then sort of a gold trim around it. But I didn't particularly like the design of that. I thought Flash was okay. Aquaman had a very weird design where they sort of, it was like they weren't sure if they wanted to make him look like Jason Momoa or more like the traditional. So they kind of made him look like Jason Momoa, but then they gave him like blonde kind of at the end of his hair, like dark roots, but like he bleached. I don't know. It's kind of a weird look. And then they had, I guess it was Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern in there. And again, she just looked different than what I'm used to in the comics. I like Jessica Cruz. I think she's an interesting character. She, from what I remember, suffers from agoraphobia, or she's afraid to go outside and deal with people and stuff. So yeah, I think she's a cool character. But when they first showed up, I'm like, who's this? Did they make a new Green Lantern? Like, oh, I guess that's Jessica Cruz. Cool. But yeah, she looks a bit different than what I'm used to seeing in the comics. The haircut and like the color in the hair, I'm not used to, but it was a choice. And I think it made sense to get another woman on the team, and this is a woman of color, a Hispanic person. So like that's good. It kind of helps diversify the team. There's nothing wrong with that. Other than that, the movie was directed by Jared Stern and Sam Levine. Jared Stern, before this, he directed a movie called Happy Birthday with Ben Schwartz, and that's about it. A short, I think, other than that. And Sam Levine was in here. He's the other director. It's not the actor. It's not the kid from Freaks and Geeks. It's another Sam Levine who directed a cartoon TV show called Pen Zero Part-Time Hero, and then did animation for Tarzan and Wreck-It Ralph. It was written by Jared Stern again and John Whittington. Jared Stern has a lot of writing credits. He wrote Lego Ninjago, Lego Batman, The Internship, The Watch, and Mr. Popper's Penguins. And then John Whittington wrote Lego Ninjago and Lego Batman along with him, and then the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I believe. So Johnson and Hart, Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart, this is their fifth movie together after I don't even remember all of them. There was Central Intelligence, and then a couple Jumanji movies. I don't know. Can't remember the fourth one. But yeah, they've done a lot together. They seem to play well off of each other. So I don't mind it, but we saw a trailer for this with one of my cousins who's 15, and he's like, do they have to put Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart, or I think he said The Rock. Do they have to put The Rock and Kevin Hart and everything? And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? I guess there's a little controversy over the breed of the dogs. Ace, I think in the comics, is generally depicted as a German Shepherd or a Doberman Pinscher, but in this movie, he seems to be more like a pit bull or a boxer. Trixie here is a pit bull, but I would say just because of the pointed ears, he looks more like a boxer to me, but it's probably just a mixture of a bunch of different dogs. And then same thing with Crypto. Some people say he's a lab, or again, a pit maybe, which a little bit in the face, maybe in the ears. I can see a little bit in him. Or even some people have said, I guess, a Great Dane, or I'm sorry, a Great Dane or a Dogo Argentino, which I'm not familiar with that breed. He doesn't seem big enough for a Great Dane to me. I guess my first thought would be a lab, but I could maybe see a pit in there. That being said, pit bulls are a bit controversial, so I can see why they would want to sort of steer away from that as well. Other than that, like I said, the Justice League is not in this movie much, which I didn't expect them to be, but they are voiced by John Krasinski, plays Superman, and I thought he did a pretty okay job. At first, it was a little distracting, but it was all right. Keanu Reeves is in there as Batman, and he's good. He doesn't do much. He doesn't have a ton of lines, but the lines he has are pretty funny, and I think he works for the character. We've got Jamila Jamil from The Good Place is playing Wonder Woman. Jermaine Clement is doing Aquaman. John Ely is doing The Flash, and then Dasha Polanco is the actress who's playing Jessica Cruz. I don't know. I think they were all fine. They weren't necessarily distracted. I couldn't figure out John Ely's voice because I guess I'm not too familiar with him. I've seen him in stuff, though. I think he was in Search Party and a couple other things I've seen. So there are some mid and post-credit scenes. So the mid-credit scene shows Mercy, Lex Luthor's assistant, saving Lulu and deciding they should team up. So I guess setting up a sequel. And then there's a post-credit scene where they have Black Adam show up with his dog Anubis, which is a cool scene, of course, because Black Adam is going to be played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the Black Adam live-action movie, and he also did the voice for Black Adam in the cartoon here. I'm not sure who did Anubis. I didn't look that up, but yeah, overall, so I actually really kind of like this movie. Obviously, I judge kids' movies a little less harshly than I do other movies. But yeah, I think this is a pretty solid movie and better than I expected. So for my score, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think it was pretty good, and I think kids would probably like it. So if you saw the movie, let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great night, and I will see you here again next week.